Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 8, Pins and Needles. Let's just say this episode was definitely interesting. So let's get into it. So, I believe it starts off with, dang it. Just that fast, but we're gonna leave this in here. So Andy, she gets met with a high power client, basically a billionaire mogul, and she's willing to divorce her husband because I guess her husband thought he could have his cake and eat it too, and she was like, we about to play the same game and it's about to be wraps. And she basically want to see if Andy is really up for the chase. But before that, Andy is meeting with one of her guys that she knew in the criminal law side of the of law, and he basically finds out all this material information about Gary. I wonder, did he find out that Gary's name is not really Gary because the past, yeah, of course, obviously because of the passport that Penelope sent to Andy. So that was that. And then also he said that information about Jordan is not true. So that gave her insight, like, oh, guess he was really telling the truth. But, you know, sometimes you can't be too sure, but people tell you one thing, you want to make sure you got the actual proof to back it up. So this is like, okay, I kind of doubted you, but not necessarily 100% doubted you. So I kind of see where Andy was coming from. She was trying to, like, fill it out to see if, you know, if it was accurate or not. So he said that, and then after that, the lady came in, Miss Marie, and she basically wanted to see if Andy was up for the case. And also Jordan told her about Andy, so she was just like, okay, I had a very good high reference about you. And then because Fatima brought her into her office and whatnot, and told her to close the door and whatnot. So after that, Hayden and Fatima is outside, but Fatima's listening. He was like, hey, who is this? And Fatima was like, don't you got cases of your own to take care of? He was like, who was that in the office with Andy, and why is she here? And Fatima was like, this is Miss Marie, the mogul, and yeah, but what is she doing here? And Fatima was like, you just got to wait to find out. So they open the door, out comes Miss Marie and Andy, and basically Hayden tried to talk to the lady. She was like, who are you? She was like, okay, Andy, we got to do all this other stuff. Like, basically disregarded everything he had to say. And after she left or whatever, Fatima and Andy was like, you might want to pick your face up off the floor. And like, he was shocked. He was just like, what in the world? So after that, they went on about their business. Andy finished handing up some paperwork because she had to leave or whatever. And then I think Hayden, he decides to leave or whatever. And he ends up, I think, hold on. Yeah, so basically after that, Andy tells Fatima that she got to leave for the day. That Fatima could also leave for the day. So she also told her about, you know, Karen getting the DNA. And she was like, yeah, that's cool and all. So after Andy gave her the green light, she hurried up and ran with her pocket in her office and ran out that door. Next, you know, Karen, she shows up to the hospital, and while she's there, she sees Sabrina in the waiting room, and they were both like, what are you doing here? So basically Sabrina was telling her, like, yeah, I was here for the egg freezing. And at first Karen didn't want to tell her why she was really there. She was like, I'm here for a checkup. But they was like, she was like, you just had a checkup. She was like, okay, I'm here to get a DNA test with Zach, and Zach is on his way. You know, I will sit with you, but you know, that's all that. So after that, they said their goodbyes or whatever, but Sabrina was just like, yeah, so why would you lie about, well, why would you not tell us about getting a DNA test? But I can understand why. It's like, sometimes you just want to keep stuff a little bit private. You don't need to let your friends know everything that's going on about you in your life. But yeah, so after that, Danny, she has her session with the doctor, and she basically starts telling the doctor how her life is a wreck and whatever. And basically, it's coming down to the fact that Danny doesn't want to be labeled as a stepmother, because basically she just found out that Tony's kids are going to be with him like for like indefinitely. So basically the doctor was telling her to give her worst case scenario, including her and Tony, because she likes being with Tony. It's just that she don't want to be labeled as a stepmother. So they started going through the scenarios and stuff like that. So at first when Danny was telling her story, the lady started laughing, and she was just like, it's not even that it's funny, but it's just that you have a funny way of delivering it. So she was like, okay, so that made some progress with that. Andy goes to meet Jordan at his place, and she basically comes to apologize. And she was like, yes, Miss Marie, I met with Miss Marie, thank you for the referral. Also, that yeah, I'm basically here to apologize. But then he also, remember, he had some meetings he had to take care of. So that got cut short. So after he left or whatever, she starts looking through all the information that her guy friend gave her about Gary. And she just was like, oh. So at that time, Zach finally arrives at the hospital. And he brought Karen some food. And next you know, they start talking, and she's like, Karen felt all the information. He was just, she's like, I probably know all the information better than you. And he went and checked the paper, and he was like, seems all correct. By this time, he already got a little conversation with Karen, and he starts rubbing her belly. Next you know, Fatima's at the door, about to open it. She's just like, her mouth literally dropped. But then she was like, and he looks up and was like, hey, baby. And then she was just like, if Karen was like, I told you so. I told you I didn't want her here. First of all, Fatima was like, listen, I know I said I wasn't going to come, but that's besides the point. I'm here to support you and everything, because I know how you is with needles. And Karen's face was just like, scrunched up, like, oh my God. So Zach was like, listen, you know what? It is what it is. We're here now, and we're going to talk about this later. So that was that. And then the nurse came in and was like, listen, we got to go draw your blood and stuff like that. So they asked, well, it's okay if I sit out here. But then the lady was like, no, you could come in with him. So both Zach and Fatima went into the office in the back while Karen sat out there, because they're going to be in separate rooms. Anyway, so while they get in and they start talking, and he was like, listen, I'd like to apologize for this, because, you know, it's stuff like that. Also, Fatima was like, I'd like to apologize because I said I wasn't going to come in, and I came in anyway to show you some support. So that was that. And then he was rambling on about the needles and stuff like that. And, you know, she was trying to be, calm him down. And he like, oh my God, I was scared and everything. So the nurse comes and tries to poke him. And he acting like a big old baby. And it's just like, and she covered his eyes so he couldn't see. So, yeah. After that, what else? Sabrina and I believe Danny, they meet up or whatever. No. While Fatima's at the at the hospital, Andy calls while she's at Jordan's place, and she was like, listen, I got some information on Gary and other stuff. She's like, yeah, he's gonna meet me at the penthouse. And Fatima was like, no, that's not good. You don't be watching these movies where people say that stuff and they end up dead. So she was like, listen, I'm gonna go back to the house, come back, get my bag and stuff or whatever, and then I'm gonna meet you at your place. She was like, all right, cool. And yeah, so after that, Hayden, Tamara, and Gary. Basically, Gary meets up with Tamara at this hotel, and they end up doing the do after they had a conversation. But I noticed on the nightstand there was a pen that had a flashing light, and then there was a phone next to it. But I was thinking when I saw it that Gary was secretly recording her. But in all actuality, it was the other way around. So basically, everything that they were saying, interacting with each other, talking, whatever, Tamara was getting that on her recorder pin. So after they did that, Gary gets a phone call. He was like, he got to go. And she started talking about stuff. He was like, listen, if I want you, I'll horse emoji you. And she was like, yeah, whatever. So eventually that he leaves or whatever. She picks up the pen. She starts looking at it, and it's just like, oh, it's about to go down. I wonder if she's going to tell all this information to Hayden, or what, because it's about to get juicy. So after that, Sabrina and Danny meet up at Sabrina's place, you know, talking about their day and whatnot. Sabrina tells her about how she met Karen at the hospital, stuff like that. And Danny just wants to drink. She was like, Sabrina was basically like, why would Karen not tell us about the whole DNA situation? And Danny was finally, because it's about time. Like, it's just about time. Nobody got time for this baby mama drama, stuff like that, you know. And then Danny gulps down this drink, and Sabrina like kind of shaded her, and Danny was like, I'm not about to be one of these not alcoholics and stuff like that. So she was like, for your information, I did have my session this morning, and you know, was talking about things and how things are going and whatnot. That's all. She was like, Sabrina was like, I'm proud of you, we're making progress. Meanwhile, Pam is at the shop taking over for Karen, and Trey comes in, and he was like, she was like, no packages today. He was like, no, not today. So it was basically wondering where Karen was, and he was about to say some smart stuff, but he was like, she was like, I know exactly what you want. What's Lucky wanted in Poetic Justice, and she gave out the line like, you want to taste mine, and he was like, nah, you're tripping, not today. And he leaves out the store. So meanwhile, before this, Gary's back at his office. Hayden comes in. He was like, I've been calling you all day, but yes, Gary, you know how he was. Like, you wasn't answering my call, so I'm not going to answer yours. Back and forth, vice versa. So basically, Gary and Hayden are devising of a plan to, you know, get Andy out. And he also told him about Miss Marie. And Gary was like, I'm friends with Miss Marie, so we're going to figure this out. And we're going to set it straight. So now, Gary finally meets up with Andy and Fatima at Andy's place. And Andy was like, I don't know all this information about you. You need to leave Jordan out of it, because I don't care. I will ruin yours and my life. Just leave his alone. So Fatima had her back. She was on 10 with it, like, and what? So Gary was just like, After this, you know, he was like, Andy was like, get out of my house. She was like, my house. That hit a nerve, because it's like, it's probably still in his name. Well, whatever. But I don't think so, because if that's the case, that house would have been gone when the feds came. So after that, Fatima reassured her, like, are you okay? And whatever. She was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Then it came time for Karen to see her baby or whatever. And the doctor was doing the ultrasound, and she notices there was two babies on the ground. Nobody didn't see it the first time around, but she showed her the heartbeat and whatever. And then she went to go look again. She was like, remember when I showed you the heartbeat here? There's another heartbeat. There's 2 babies and 2 different sacs. So it's just like, it's definitely given 2 babies, 2 daddies, same time, just like that. And that happens. It's rarely, but it does happen. So now they're both shocked, and it's just like, oh snap, what's about to go down? Yeah. And I believe, yeah, I think this is all that happened in this episode. I hope I ain't forgetting nothing. Those are like the main parts of what happened. So yeah, if I missed anything, let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I will see you at the next one. Bye.